Hi, so my missions team went to Juarez, Mexico every year for spring break. It was actually all the team leaders from all the different teams that went all to Mexico just basically to get trained and to get a chance to minister with the other leaders before we went out and took our teams on our summer trips. So it was this year that at the beginning of the week in Juarez, we had prayed that God would show himself to us through miracles and that we would be able to pray for people and that God would be able to give them their healing. You know, that was what was in our hearts that week, and we had sought God for that. And, we were working in an orphanage all during the week, and during the evenings we would actually go and do different ministry projects. We went to a park one night and did a skit. And afterwards, we just went around to talk to people in the park and, see what they thought about the skit or see if they knew who Jesus was. So we went around and we were talking to different people, and I saw a man on a park bench and went up to talk to him, and I realized that he was deaf, so I asked if I could pray for him. So as I was praying for him, I was praying that God would open up his ears and allow him to hear and would show himself, make himself real to this man. And in the middle of my prayer, he taps me and he said, he points to his ears. He's like, I can hear. I'm like, what? Are you sure? And so he's like, yeah, I can hear. I can hear something. There's something behind me. So the other team leaders, when they saw the commotion, came over. Everyone was doing different tests. Can you hear this? What about this? Like, where is it coming from? And, when we realized that this man actually could hear that he had never heard before and was for the first time in his life hearing, it was just the look on his face and how amazed and how just in shock he was that, he was in his late 30s and now he could start hearing. It was incredible. It was really incredible to see. And I communicated to him, do you know who did this for you? And he said, no, I don't know. I'm like, it's Jesus. God did this for you. And he was just in shock. He's like, he was just so happy, and I was able to let him know that Jesus loved him and that this miracle came as a result of the love that God has for him, and that he sees what this man is going through and that he is trying to help him. Everybody, all the team leaders, were just so happy, absolutely, just because this miracle that we've been praying for, it finally happened. And I think I walked away with a bit of a different reaction from so many of the other people that were there, just because my little sister is deaf. So it was something that was just a complete shock. I did not know how to process it because, every day of my life, I prayed for my little sister. I prayed that God would give her healing. And, up until that point, God had it. And that had been something that had been hard for us as a family to go through, is praying daily for healing and not seeing that result. And so for me, it was like I come to Juarez for a week with these other missions leaders. I go into a park. I decide to pray for a man, and, within a couple minutes, God gives him this healing, And it's like, how do you process that you prayed for somebody that you love and that you're so close with your whole life, and that healing doesn't come, but then someone else that you just meet and you just pray a quick prayer just asking God for him to show himself to this man, and the healing happens. It's like, how do you reconcile those two things? So that was really tough for me. I didn't really know what to do with it, and honestly at first it made me really sad, because it was like, how can I pray for something so much before and it not happen, and then it happened now. So, as I processed it and came to peace with it, what I realized was, this man didn't know Jesus. He had no connection with Jesus. He didn't know that God loved him. What better way for God to show himself to this man and to show him that Jesus loves him than to give him this healing, than to give him this type of healing that he's probably wished for his whole life but didn't even know that he could ask God for. And I think that there's no better way to show this man that Jesus loves him than for Jesus to heal him. And, it was definitely hard for me to process it and come to this point where I could be thankful and so happy for this man, for his miracle, and then also still be believing God for my sister and knowing and being confident in the fact that He would fulfill what we have prayed for my sister as well. And I hope that this story encourages you and motivates you and inspires you to believe God for the impossible and to believe God for things bigger than you can ever imagine. Because, I'm still daily praying for my sister, and I still know that God is capable and that He will, in His time, bring about her miracle.